A few days ago, an asteroid flew past Earth, so close it was below the altitude of some satellites. We didn't know it even existed until hours after it had passed. If that rock had been just a little lower, it could have hit the atmosphere and exploded with the force of a small nuclear bomb. Welcome to Prepper's Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical prepping and disaster preparedness. I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. Today, we are talking about the threat of asteroid impacts, the asteroid that almost hit Earth recently, and what it means for all of us. We'll look at how close it came, why we didn't see it coming, what an impact could do, and what preppers can learn from it. This isn't science fiction. This is a real event that shows just how quickly the unexpected can happen. On October 1st, 2025, a small asteroid, now known as 2025 TF, passed Earth at a distance of about 250 to 400 kilometers. That's closer than the orbit of the International Space Station. Astronomers only realized it existed after it was already gone. The first observation came roughly 6 hours after the flyby. The asteroid measured just a few meters across. Something that size might sound harmless, but if it had entered the atmosphere, it could have exploded with enough energy to shatter windows and injure people across a city. That close call didn't make headlines for long, but it proves an uncomfortable truth. Even with all our modern telescopes, we still miss many small asteroids until it's too late to react. And if one of those comes in at the wrong angle, no one gets a warning. For preppers, that near miss is a reminder that not every threat gives time to prepare. You might wonder how something that close could go unnoticed. The truth is, small asteroids are hard to spot. Most of them are dark, made of rock that reflects almost no light. They move fast, and when they approach from the direction of the sun, telescopes can't see them at all. NASA and other observatories track thousands of near-Earth objects, but the smaller ones, like the asteroid that just missed us, often slip through the gaps. Some are only visible for a few hours before or after passing by. That's what happened with 2025 TF, and it's not the first time. The Chelyabinsk meteor in 2013 came from the same blind spot. It exploded high over Russia with the force of about 30 Hiroshima bombs, shattering windows across 6 cities and injuring around 1,500 people. Events like that show that our detection systems can't see everything, and when they miss something, the results can come fast and without warning. Not every asteroid that reaches Earth makes it to the ground. Most small ones burn up in the atmosphere and turn into shooting stars. But when the rock is big enough, the results can be devastating. An asteroid around 10 meters wide can cause an explosion in the sky that equals several kilotons of TNT. That's enough to damage buildings and injure anyone nearby from the shockwave and broken glass. At 20 to 50 meters, the story changes. That's the size range of the Chelyabinsk and Tunguska events. Chelyabinsk exploded high above the ground, but Tunguska, in 1908, flattened more than 800 square miles of forest in Siberia. If it had hit a modern city, the destruction would have been beyond imagination. Larger asteroids, hundreds of meters across, could destroy entire regions or create tsunamis if they hit the ocean. Those events are rare, but not impossible. The real danger comes from our dependence on fragile systems. Even a smaller impact could knock out power, break communications, or contaminate air and water supplies in the affected area. Modern life leaves little margin for failure. For preppers, understanding that chain reaction matters more than the size of the rock. It's about how fast everything else could fall apart after the first shockwave. Asteroid impacts are rare, but the lack of warning makes them worth preparing for. The lesson from this near miss isn't about fear. It's about readiness. When an impact or even a nearby airburst happens, the first danger comes from shockwaves and debris. But the secondary effects can be worse: power outages, communication failures, and broken supply chains. Those are the parts that preppers can plan for. A solid roof or basement can protect from flying glass and falling debris. Air filtration can help if dust or smoke fills the air. Stored food and water keep you independent if transport or utilities fail. If networks go down, GMRS radios allow local communication when phones and internet stop working. And a portable power station can keep essential gear running until repairs start. Most people rely on systems that fail the moment a disaster begins. Preppers rely on themselves. That's the mindset that turns a potential catastrophe into a survivable event. You don't need to prepare for the asteroid itself. You prepare for what happens afterward. Events like this near miss happen more often than most people realize. Small asteroids pass between the Earth and the Moon several times every month. We usually never hear about them because they miss us by a safe distance. Something the size of the 2025 TF asteroid comes this close every few years. The Chelyabinsk type events, with regional scale airbursts, happen roughly once every few decades. Larger impacts, the kind that could affect an entire country, occur on timescales of centuries to thousands of years. That might sound reassuring, but what matters to preppers isn't the odds. It's the fact that these events can strike with zero warning. The 2025 asteroid proved that again. We can't stop an asteroid, but we can control how we respond when one hits. That's what preparedness is all about. Not guessing the next disaster, but being ready for any disruption, no matter where it starts. A rock from space just passed closer than some satellites, and no one saw it coming. That should remind us how fragile our world really is. Preparedness isn't about fear. It's about awareness and self-reliance. When events strike without warning, the people who've already planned are the ones who stand a chance to adapt. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks asteroid strikes only happen in movies. For more practical prepping advice, visit our website. The link's in the description. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you next time.